And we are back again. It's your we are Franklin Football. I'm your humble host, Brandon, and I got my man, 100 Grand. Set it off, Chris, with me. And if y'all notice, we got one of our guys here with us. The honorable, respectful, the always welcome DMV fanatic in the building with us. DMV, how you doing, folks?
Hey, I'm feeling good, bro. I'm doing well, man. I appreciate y'all for having me on, man. We definitely gotta reciprocate on the other end as well. You know what I'm saying? Like
For sure.
I have thrown it to cover three a little bit, so we'll see what the fellas talk about.
Hey, bro, one thing I always say, you were one of the first, even when we first started, you were one of the first people that came on our show and welcomed us onto yours. So for that, you always good in my book. How the rappers say that somebody will never have to pay for a feature. DMV, you always good in my book.
I mean, we friends in real life, so
yeah.
It's like we just kicking around homeboy. Even though he out here looking like Black Jack Mulligan with the cowboy hat out in these streets.
Hey, so do y'all know the story behind this hat?
No, I don't. So go kick it to it.
Oh, y'all about to die laughing. Every time you see it, you're gonna laugh forever. So I said all Ferg had to do to get paid was just throwing that damn cowboy hat, and that was it.
So you trying to get paid? You looking for the money now? See, I'm with you.
So B, it's time to go get cowboy hats. So
yeah,
get paid. We gotta get together. We trying to get.
You ain't gotta do nothing. Just throwing that cowboy hat and look the part. That's it. Hey,
you know what I'm saying? Trying to look like Denzel and Dagon the Magnificent Seven. I got you. I'm with you. I got you.
Yep.
Well, so guys, yesterday the Cowboys had a convincing win over the Las Vegas Raiders. And the reason that I think this is great is because previously the Cowboys have been Disneyland, the place where dreams come true. DMV, you've been here before on some of our Victory Mondays and or Tuesdays, so you know how this goes. We like to play a game of good, bad, and ugly. DMV, I want you to start. What would you think was the good takeaway from the Cowboys win versus the Raiders?
Okay, yeah. So what I said earlier on shorts and stuff like that, I think the big takeaway for me was that this team played inspired football. And although, CeeDee Lamb and George Pickens started off the wrong way, being knuckleheads and stuff like that, getting postponed in the game a series, but the defense, I think, played balls to the wall the entire time. You know what I'm saying? And I don't necessarily mean they didn't give up they gave up some big plays and they gave up some plays here and there. And, you kind of expect that from a defense, but I felt the urgency from them. And I think that it set the tone in the game for the team.
Yeah. Okay. I get that. I definitely saw a lot of adjustment. So I agree with you for sure. Inspiration was definitely a motivation. Not just for on the field reasons. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
As we probably talked about ad nauseum 2 weeks ago, this team had something to play for because they lost a brother on the field. You know what I'm saying? Both of y'all got sons that play, so I can understand how things get deeper than the ball, And I hate. I'm sorry, Chris. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. I'm listening to you. Go ahead.
I can see how easily people would say, "Oh, they gotta win because they're playing for their guy," but like we've said before. When real life stuff happens, I think that it's easy for the players to rally around each other. But in some cases, they can also go through their own cycles of grief.
Yeah,
it's not a linear process.
Yeah, it's what ends up happening. It gets back to the nature of it. At the end of the game, you're getting paid a king's ransom to play a kid's game, and anybody would give their left foot, left leg, left to do it. It's the hardest league to get into. Me and John talk about this all the time. It's the absolute most difficult league to get into.
And to stay into, in my opinion, too.
To say, because we get to the point 100% of the kids get to play high school. 7% get to go play Division I, Division II, Division III, go get to play after high school, and then you go to the 1% of the 1% to get to play. So when you get in a position where the late Marshawn Nealon was, you think, man, you living a dream, and it's bigger than that. So it gave them all an opportunity with this happening, and I think it was the best thing that happened for them. We don't like to give him a lot of credit. Jason Garrett didn't get a week to get his team prepared. When Jerry, I think it was Jerry Brown, passed.
Josh Brent. Was it
Josh Brent?
There we go.
Josh Brent. But is Josh Brent that died, or was it the teammate?
Was Josh Brent the one who got in trouble for it?
Yeah, but I think it was I think that the brother's name was Brown, who ended up dying. Mm-hmm. Okay, but he didn't have a week. He had to get them ready that next Sunday. So Shotty had a whole week to get them through it, get all that things cleared out, and for them to go out and play an inspired football in all three phases. This was the first complete game they played all year. And you're right. That was playing inspired was it. My good kind of goes back to the point, but I'll be a little bit more specific. Your 1A and 1B in the wide receiver room. They were magnificent. I ended up watching the condensed version again today, and they were just hard to cover, man, all over the field, running great routes, getting themselves in position where the quarterback had easy buttons to hit to, and then they just weren't catching and falling down, man. They were tough to tackle after the catch, making it, to the point they just put on a clinic for young wide receivers. I'm a big fan of watching guys work. And so I'll sit up and I'll watch tape of Jackson Smith and Jigba. I'll watch Emeka Buike. I'll watch Marvin Harrison. Neighbors wasn't here, so last year I watched a lot of Neighbors tape. But CeeDee Lamb and George Pickens put on an absolute clinic last night. And it just showed you how they make the game easier for my man in the black hat, Ferguson. Ferguson just got to find a spot and get open. Shoot, even Schoonmaker made a play last night, which is absolutely crazy. You be knowing Jesus coming back when Schoonmaker play. So, it was just 1A and 1B, man. Made it to the point, made it easy for everybody all the way around. What you got good, B? Go ahead, John. Go ahead.
Now I was gonna say, listen, man, that George Pickens, like, it opened up the entire offense, bro. Like, there was the thing that,
the early catch.
I'm talking about anything that he was able to go out there and anything he was able to do. He required so much attention that it just spread the whole field out, and that's all I've been really asking for, probably since about September. Really, you could even see it when CeeDee Lamb wasn't there, because when CeeDee Lamb wasn't there, it was Ryan Flanoy. You know what I'm saying? So just imagine that being CeeDee Lamb. And I just think that Shotty did a good job listening to the grievances of the fans, of the people that cover the team. He did a good job of listening to that, but also self-scouting. I think that it's important when you're in a bye week to do some self-scouting and figure out, okay, what things work for us, what things don't work for us, and how can we overcome. And I think that it was important for the team to get back to the running game. It's like, okay, how do we get back to the running game? We got to spread the field. How do we spread the field? We got to leverage the matchups. And if George is out there one-on-one with somebody,
George has got to get it. George got to get it. Yeah, all day.
Shaq on the block. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to Shotty. You know what I'm saying? And my bad, B, for cutting that off. But I felt the Lord. I had to do the Lord's work by speaking the gospel.
It was bubbling up in your spirit.
It was.
And I'm actually glad that you mentioned it, because that pours right into what I consider the good or even great aspect of the game. The Cowboys offense finally clicked in a big way after these last two previous games where they faltered a little bit. They had a 2-game skid. And I think that 33-16 win was a big one, because Dak played lights out. Javonte played lights out. Even though Pickens and Lamb may have stayed a little bit too late on the craps table or the roulette,
get them a craps table in that locker room, B. That's what they need. Hey, we don't need no ping pong. Hey, throw the craps table in the locker room in Dallas.
Hey, look. Hey, look. Hey, look. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man, I think that all of the cylinders on offense were firing. And that was so important because not only were they coming off of a bad sure, let's call it bad. A bad 2 previous games.
Yeah.
But they didn't play down to their competition again because there were many opportunities for them to kind of win these last 2 weeks and they didn't show it. They did it against someone that they should beat this week, you know? And I think that was really important because they exploited the Raiders' pass defense, which does rank dead last in the league for what it's worth. And I think that they gave the team a lot of hope. And that goes on the back of the players and on Coach Shotty.
Indeed.
Yep.
I mean, spot on. You ain't no lie spoken, my boy. No lie spoken. It's gonna be a this was the kind of performance that we expected him to come out and give Denver. This was the kind of performance we expected him to come out and give Arizona. And no matter what it was just to the point they finally did what we expected them to do, to give us a complete victory in every aspect. You didn't see Shotty get pass happy. You watched Shotty keep it balanced. You let guys. You didn't put your tackles in vicarious situations where to the point where they were gonna get beat. Yeah, I know. Don't worry about it. We got a couple more of those. You've been gone, so I ain't had to do nothing but deal with the word of the day. So I got a couple more for you. But it was just an all out good performance, man. It's gonna be hard to get these other 2 sections out the way. We're gonna have to dig. That's why I went and watched the game again, and it was still hard. So let's go with it. What you got for bad, B?
So if I was to label something as bad from last night's game, I think I would label the turnover woes. For the past 3 games, we've kind of suffered a few turnovers, more than a few actually, whether they be interceptions or fumbles, like in this case. I think that's something that you want to get under control real quick, because if you want to hold on to this hope that the Cowboys got, you can't give any teams any type of breathing room, especially better teams. There were many opportunities where if the Raiders had a better quarterback, even on the first drive where they scored that field goal, that could have been 6 points if it was a better quarterback throwing the ball.
Absolutely.
And they got that field position off of a turnover by that.
A fumble, a fumble, strip sack by my man Max Crosby. Absolutely.
Hey, I wish he would have been a Cowboy right now, right? But yeah, man, those are the type of things that I want to get under control. You cannot give teams, especially good teams, more opportunities to bite at the apple. You can't.
I give you that.
What do you got, Chris?
I got and it's hard for me to do any kind of slander against Rain Dakota Prescott. That's dang near almost unheard of. But I want him. He's gotten to a tendency of looking for the big play instead of taking the check down, the more sure play. Case in point, in that first drive, he ended up turning around looking for the bigger play downfield when he could have dropped it down early to give one of the guys, give Javonte a chance to maybe get that first shot. It was 3rd and 4. It wasn't 3rd and 8.
In the second quarter, if I remember right.
No. So the very first drive, we turned around and went 3 and out. And he could have gotten like a check down to Javonte, and he could have probably got the first down, but he was looking for the bigger play downfield. And I think that gets to the point where you're always looking to make that big splash play, which he's been able to do it because he's got the weaponry to do it. But sometimes you want to take the simple check down. So you go with that drive, but then you also turn around, you get the very next drive, you get the fumble, like you just said. Not saying he played poorly. I just want him to not put himself in harm's way. Does that make sense? Because, if God forbid anything happens to him, these last 7 games, you can go ahead and cancel Christmas and going forward. Anything happen to him, we're going to be back to, hey, man, you saw what Joe Milton did over there. Did you see how he had his socks? We don't want to go to that. I like finding the abstract Joe Milton comment. I don't want to see Joe Milton on the field. I don't want to see him at all. I want to see him like if we watch the pregame and he's out there warming up and doing something. I do not want him taking meaningful snaps for this football team. So I want us to keep us on track, which he's been able to do, and sometimes just, hey, check it down. I don't need you doing anything heroic as of yet, not until we get to games 18, 19, and 20. That's when I want to see that from him.
Yeah.
That's what I want to be able to say.
I get it. And you did mention how he was kind of looking for that deep shot. I do think that there were times where he was holding on to the ball a lot and didn't throw it away. So I agree 100%. I agree 100%.
Yeah. And it's hard to find something bad, but I mean, especially in that game. But yeah, that's what I got bad. What you got, John?
I think that Shotty. So while I'm going to say this, I do want to preface this and say I think that Shotty did a hell of a job in the beginning of the game. Look, CD and Pickens, y'all were doing some things where off the field it got you to where you had to sit down early. So I understand that. But the bad is he's still playing favorites. So I think that you wanted to do that to set a tone. But I think y'all are gonna get at where I'm getting at with this. Ryan Flournoy needs to be on the field as your number 3 receiver. And I think that the Tolbert and the Turpin thing, like I think it's clear right now, and I don't think you should mess with it anymore. Yeah, you might like Tolbert as a person, might be a really good person, might be smiley, you know what I'm saying, might shake hands, but guess what? That don't get Joe Milton in the game, and everybody loves Joe Milton. Okay. But Tolbert got to come off the field, and I need most of his snaps to be Flournoy.
Gotcha.
Straight up.
Wow. That's so. Now I'm gonna piggyback a little bit on that because I got a friend, like his name is DMV Fanatic, and we talk about stuff. I'm gonna treat according to talent. I'm gonna treat you all fairly. If you're great, you're getting benched for the first series, and then I'm gonna get you back because I do play favorites because favorites help me win. Okay,
absolutely,
So my best players got him, but I echo 100%. I am the experiment with Cavante Turpin is over for me. I'm tired of him jumping up with all this robust. Oh, I should have caught it. I'm tired of that. You're a kickoff returner. That's what you do. You're a gadget guy. If you come in, you're going to catch a reverse, flip screen, something. You are not a wide receiver. Ryan Flournoy, you're a wide receiver. Jalen Tolbert, we appreciate what you did in 2024 as being the Cowboys' leading receiver in touchdowns. But outside of that, you need to be a gunner and you need to be the 4th option on the field when it comes to being a wide receiver. And you're right, bro. That is the one part that I had to give Shotty. Listen, man, stop playing with me, because the guy isn't. And Tolbert is definitely capped out what he is. Flournoy, man, that whip route that Flournoy did near the goal line was absolutely perfectly executed. Body control, lean, made the corner give it up. John likes to go out and say, "Hey, what did this corner do wrong to get beat?" You know, while you was away, B, or you may have seen it. Hey, what did this guy do? I just be like, yo, he lined up against that guy. He can't cover him. I'd be like, come on, man, he just can't. Come on, stop it. But on that play, Flournoy gave him enough body lean to the inside that the cornerback gave up leverage. And as soon as he saw him give up leverage, he spun back out and whipped it back out and was wide open. Man, it was such an easy pitch and catch. It was a beautiful route. Get that guy on the field, man.
I agree. I do think that we've kind of run the course of like Turpin doing actual wide receiver things. You know, we just kind of need him to be like special teams guy right now because Flournoy ran in this trap. You know what I'm saying? He took all that.
Man.
And I also think that when it comes to like having your best guys on the field, Chris, I can't remember if I texted you this or if I text like botch this. Keeping your main guys off the field, your gangsters off the field, that don't do nothing but hurt you. You know what I'm saying? And so you kind of saw how important CD and Pickens are to this offense in that first drive when they weren't on the field.
I mean, but that's
Because,
I mean, but we all know that though, B. But my thing is, there should never be a point where my third guy is a Flournoy.
Yeah,
my third guy has to be Flournoy. He has to be. Seeing Tolbert and Turpin out there, I'm like,
yeah, you worded it correctly. You gotta pick. It's like you gotta use your favoritism wisely.
Yeah.
Jimmy Johnson did it. Jimmy Johnson wasn't going to cut right. Michael Irvin for the same thing he would have cut. I mean, there were people that might have sneezed in the meeting that got cut that just weren't good enough to cut it. I've heard Michael Irvin took razor blades to people and stuff like that off the field. I heard he was a menace.
Hey,
I mean, Mike. Because Brandon is a guy who holds grudges, and
really, I've never told you that before.
Oh no, yeah, but he's a stickler about being a man of his word. He would have heard the story about Michael Irvin totally getting left by the plane, and then having to sit out a quarter, and then or sit out. I think he sat out like the first series, and then Jimmy put him right back in. Dude, listen, I want to win football games, and Shotty know he got to win football games, and that was a must-win game. So we gonna punish them for being knuckleheads. But at the end of the day, let's get in here and win these football games.
Yeah, absolutely. And those guys know that they let the team down at that moment.
Yeah,
they know that, and I think that it served that purpose. And I mean, you think Shotty didn't want to throw those guys out there? Absolutely, he wanted to, but they needed to do the things off the field that they needed to be doing. You know what I'm saying? So
absolutely.
And they're gonna have to answer that dumb question: why'd you sit out? Why'd you sit out? Why'd you sit out? You know what I'm saying? I think that it served its purpose.
Because they was in somebody's section at 6:30 in the morning, or on somebody's blackjack table,
It's real easy to do that in Vegas.
Too much. Exactly.
They got that oxygen pumping, and it make you feel so good. I need to pump that oxygen at home. I need to figure out how to do that. But that oxygen feels so good. It make your body feel good. Like you don't feel no aches, no pains. Like you just walking around like, oh dang, it's 7:30 in the morning. Let me go.
You look up and now you're in trouble. But hey, it is what it is. It is what it is. You know what I'm saying? That's why they say what happens in Vegas, what? Stays in Vegas.
Hey, look.
That's what's up.
So DMV, we got Chris's. We didn't exactly get yours. What would you label as bad from this game?
Oh, it's the Flournoy.
Yeah,
like
Flournoy was his bad.
Yeah. He needs to play.
His bad. That was his bad. I haven't even given my bad. He gave his bad, which was solid. No, and then my bad was holding on the ball too long. So we got them all three. Now what's what you got for the ugly, B?
DB, I want you to go first. I want you to go first for the ugly, man.
My ugly is it might be a little too late for this year because you're gonna have to go pretty much perfect with how the teams are in the NFC. So my ugly is, man, if you would have told me that you were gonna get all of this and all you had to do was trade Micah Parsons, I would have signed up for it right off the bat. You know what I'm saying? Like they drug their feet when it came to this type of stuff. When it comes to and I hate to keep comparing the front office to Howie, but Howie's so urgent. And I think that they waited too long. We talk about leverage. I think that they waited too long and they drug their feet. And now you're in a situation where you have exactly what it is that you need on this team. You got the D tackles, you got the wide receiver, you know what I'm saying? You got the linebacker. Now you have exactly what you need. And if you had this early, you're probably flipping some of those games that you should have won, like Carolina, like the Bears, you know what I'm saying? Like the Cardinals. Packers. Yeah, or the Packers. Yeah. That's 4 games that you possibly could have won had you made some of those moves early. So I think that the ugly is that you're playing for next year, technically. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Unless some luck happens.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely, man. I do think that a lot of what we're seeing is going to be for 2026. Quentin Williams, as much as we getting him now, we're going to see more in 2026. Logan Wilson, and Chris is a big proponent of this. He's not even 12 months from his injury. We're going to see more of him in 2026, a better version of him. So yeah, man. I believe that this year could be lost because of their inaction. But man, what we get for next year, and it's so early to talk about this. It's scary, dog. It's scary.
You know, I don't like to, say things or put anything out there crazy, but sometimes the writing is right on the wall. Mm-hmm. If you go ahead and fire certain people, or people have the ability to be fired, they make decisions different. Like, I know this sounds crazy, but you pay your rent or your mortgage because you know why? There's a propensity to get your ass thrown out on the street. You turned around, right? You paid a cell phone bill because you know that T-Mobile, Verizon, AT&T will cut that off. The problem is we have been barking for a defensive tackle for months, right?
Years.
Yeah, got you.
Years.
Okay, I'll give you that, John.
Maybe a decade.
Yeah, you've been asking for a GM. You've been asking for a defensive tackle forever. It's just not cover three. It's not just Boss Cowboy. It wasn't just Henny at the Hitch. It wasn't just Landlord. It wasn't just Big Game Jack. It was idiot. Everybody was saying, go get a defensive tackle that you have to double team so you can dictate other things. Man, Geno Smith was under siege last night.
Yeah.
He was under absolute siege. And as we saw, and me and you talked about me and you talked about this many times before, Calvary's on the way. The help you need in the secondary is on the way. You were able last night to cover up Donovan Wilson. Do you know how good your cornerbacks have to be to make Donovan Wilson look like he's a player? Do you know how good your secondary has to be for you not to look at Keith Murray and say, I'll keep saying that, dude.
The rapper Keith Murray.
The most beautiful.
No, hold on. I do that, man. I do because I know it's gonna be a party. You know what I'm saying? But Kenneth Murray actually tipped the ball up in the air, was kind of in depth and deep enough to make a play, dude. Because your secondary was intact, man. Malik Hooker played really well last night.
He must have been really hurt because he looked different.
He looked real different. Real different. He played well. Caden Clarkson, man, dude, he's living up to that 21, man. He played really well last night. Tackling in space, things of that nature. Bruh, Javon Rebel, man, he's going to have to get a different number, man. He's going to get that 34 is ugly on him out there in the secondary, man. He got to get a better looking number, man.
Like a running back out there.
He looks
like
terrible.
Tanner.
That's a terrible number on him, man. But he's going to figure that out. So, man, it's just, these are the things that you as a GM know that I have to work in all four phases of team building. The four phases of team building are what? Sign your own. Sign your best players and sign your own. Assess your roster. Second phase of that is free agency. You ain't got to go out on the first day, but you have got to go in there with a plethora of good players are out there and bring them to your team. Dealing in the draft, right? And here's another, and then the June cuts. Find a guy out there so you can really fill your roster out. You cannot expect to bat 1,000, right? In the draft every year. Here's what Jerry thinks he's so, or the way they put this thing. They trying to make it to the point he's gonna be better than a Hall of Famer. If you bat 3 for 10 in baseball, where do they put you at, DMV? Where they put you in Cooperstown? Put you in the Hall of Fame. You bat 300. Dude, you got to bat 300. And we've watched them go years of missing in the second round, missing whole drafts, just misevaluating guys, and then turn around and be wondering, well, why are we so many years behind? Because you're not trying to use all the phases of it.
It might be a blessing in disguise, though, even though we hate it, right? Even though, like, we spent so much time like, man, why didn't you do this? Why didn't you do that? And Jerry fought so many people like, you think you could do this job better. Nobody can do this job better. This and that and blah, 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 blah. I think now making the trades for actual players, picking pros instead of Joes, I think you might see him be a little bit more aggressive moving forward to where it's like, You're not going to see so many of these project guys. And I saw somebody say this earlier. Somebody said they made the argument of why you don't sign Pickens, because you can get 3 players for him. And I fought that, and I said that's what they have been doing. That's what you saw on the first drive. You saw the type of players that they were getting instead of the marquee player that can actually play.
Right.
I don't even think you play around with that. I think that you, bro, once you get players, bro, get players at this point. You've tried that, and you know what I'm saying? Like, let those people fit in and support roles and stuff like that as they fit in on support roles. Like you said, Jalen Tolbert, you look like an excellent gunner right now. Turpin,
excellent.
Now you can focus a lot of your time, most of your time on kick return.
And
you know
punt returns. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, hey.
And just to agree with you, DMV, 31 teams have what Jalen Tolbert and Kevontae Turpin can provide right now. Now, they might not have the God-given speed of Tolbert, but his receiving abilities, those talents, 31 teams got that guy that they like. You know,
absolutely.
Just like I think that 31 teams have a Jaden Blue, for example. You know, a lot of these teams have their pet cats. I believe
that's the ugly. That's the ugly right there.
See, you jumped off into the ugly because that's it.
I was about to get into it. I was about to get into it. Jaden Blue, something has to be going on that is a mental block or something that he's missing in practice that we're not able to see. And I don't judge rookies, right? I don't judge rookies, but I can feel real concerned about anybody.
He's not a running back. He's not the running back that they look. Put it this way: he's a gadget guy. He's a scat back that can catch the ball out of the backfield, and they're trying to make him do running back things. And we knew it wouldn't work. A guy like that, you set him up for success. You do what he is good at, which is catching the ball out the backfield, maybe some outside stuff. You get him in space. They trying to turn him into Emmitt Smith. It's like, nah, he's not that.
You don't think he's trying to turn him into Tony Pollard, maybe?
No, they're trying to turn him into a running back, and they're trying to. So to me, this is what I think. I think they thought he was going to be the guy of the future, and I think that they were trying to make him an all-around guy. But his traits, exactly, his traits. I don't know what in his traits told y'all he was going to be that, but he's not that. Now, Chris, me and you have had this fight. Knockdown, drag out fight about Damian Martinez, where I feel like Damian Martinez fits more of what they want. And I think that Damian Martinez was the guy that they wanted, in my opinion, just based off of the visits. They had a lot of visits and this and that. I think Will McClay was Jaden Blue. And that's why they ended up going to get Phil Maffa. And I think Phil Maffa fits more of what they want. Bigger body, more gap body stuff. Yeah.
Track runner guy. Not track speed, but track runner. Hey, this is the whole get on track and get downhill. That's what he is. He's Javonte Williams without any wiggle.
Yeah. Think about this, right? Why would they have gotten Phil Maffa if they felt? I'm just saying, if they felt like Jaden Blue was that. I'm telling you, that's something internally they're fighting with. That's why he's a healthy scratch. He wouldn't be a healthy anywhere else. He would have been cut. That is something they're fighting with upstairs. You know what I'm saying? Because that's a fifth. Go ahead. That's a 5th round pick. He hasn't shown good tape. You cut him. You could bring him back to practice squad. What's the deal? That's something that they're fighting with. That's the ugly. That's the ugly in my opinion.
Okay. I was gonna get on that. Yeah. This I think his. I want to say this is like we're 9 games in. I want to say this is like his fifth healthy scratch.
Yeah.
And it's really ugly, and it's really to the point. I think they're afraid to play Maffa now because it's going to be a black eye for somebody inside that war room who drafted him because you missed out on a guy. Listen, I'm gonna be like this with Martinez. I've always said I was really never impressed with Martinez at all. But I did want a complimentary back to go with Javonte Williams. What I did like is I like the fact of the matter that they did use Hunter Lemke for the first time since he's got here, and I think Hunter has something, and I think Hunter's the reason why they're not bringing up Phil Maffa, because they got to figure out what they can do with him. But Hunter is versatile. You know, he's I think what the 49ers have, their fullback was Ramczyk. Is that his name? I think that's his name. Juszczyk. Okay, Juszczyk. But they use him like a battering ram because he's blocking guys out, but he finds his way into the passing game and things like. And that's what Hunter did last night. So
Malik played well too. Malik had some good runs too.
Malik run like a dude, like he got to keep the lights on. Malik runs with purpose, and he's trying to get every ounce of it. And that's the thing about it, man. They can bring him over for a $48 check, and that Joe could come out there and do his thing, man. And
but the issue is you've used all of Malik Davis's elevations. He's been elevated for his third time now, so they kind of have to make a decision.
And what happens with Mingo? You get what I'm saying? Like, what happens with Mingo?
Hey, so do you cut a 5th round guy?
Yeah, I'm cutting the 5th round guy.
Hold on, John. You cut the 5th round guy or you cut the 4th round guy? What you do? Do you cut the 25? Do you cut the 25 5th rounder, or do you cut the 25 the draft 25 4th rounder that you're getting nothing from and you don't need him? And shout out, hold on, and shout out to our boy Bluff Cowboy who said Jonathan Mingo was terrible. He said that.
He did.
Well, I thought Jonathan Mingo was hurt though, because when we saw him in preseason, he wasn't back. He was actually in front of Tolbert. He was whooping Tolbert's ass for that spot.
But but here's the problem.
Flanoy.
No, that's not the problem. Flanoy has surpassed both of them, but Mingo is not a better gunner or special teams guy than Tolbert.
Is he not?
Because
I remember last year. I remember last year Mingo on specials was all right. You know what I'm saying, making tackles and stuff. So, I mean, can we confirm? I know Mingo's a better receiver, in my opinion, than Tolbert is.
But I don't know. I haven't seen enough of Mingo. I haven't seen enough.
I'm about to say in preseason it wasn't close. You know what I'm saying? Preseason it wasn't close. And then when you got him with Trey Lance last year, he started actually catching the ball. When you had Cooper Rush, he couldn't get him the ball.
I'm inclined to agree. I do think that Mingo does receiver things better than Kavonte Turner.
I was talking about Tolbert too.
No, everybody, you do better receiver things than Kavonte Turner. Stop it. We're trying to talk about guys who actually play receiver. So
sure,
okay, right. So,
but I'm saying, can you keep Mingo on injured? Do you put him on injured reserve again, or is he done for the year? That's kind of where I'm at with that.
To do what? That's what I'm saying. Do you cut the 5th round guy who's giving you nothing, and you don't want to lose Malik Davis because your greatest fear?
Yeah, because I don't want to lose Malik Davis. That's what I'm saying. I'd rather if I'm gonna have a healthy scratch, I'd rather it be Mingo, and then I can have Malik Davis. You get what I'm saying?
But if you're gonna have a healthy scratch, why don't you just get rid of Jaden Blue, who you have no
that's what I'm saying. I would rather my healthy scratch be Mingo and cut Blue and put him in the practice squad, because ain't nobody gonna take Blue, bro. I'm gonna be honest with you.
Yeah, ain't
nobody coming to see you, Blue. Not Otis, but ain't nobody coming to see you, Blue.
Hey man, Blue was in the group too, man. Blue was with the deep voice, but that's neither here nor there. Yeah, Christmas time, you gotta watch The Temptations. It's part of one of the Christmas movies that you gotta watch. You know what I'm saying? It's the holiday season, classic. But yeah, man, that's what I'm looking at, bro. That's what I'm looking at. That is the biggest question. So your ugly is Jaden Blue. You got another ugly there, B?
No, I don't necessarily think that I have an ugly. I can say things that I wish we would improve on, of course. I kind of wish that
I got one more.
Well, I got one that I saw, but I think he's playing I'm not used to seeing Tyron. I'm not used to seeing
Tyler Smith.
I'm not used to seeing Tyler Smith not miss people or playing to the point like he's missing guys. You know what I'm saying? Last night was an opportunity where I saw a couple, like early when I just kind of started watching him. And then I got to go back and look at the game again and kind of break it down to all 22, and we'll talk about it later this week. I can see he's laboring. To me, for a guy who's a really control type guard, I mean, like when he gets his hands on you, he bullies and beats you up. You can see that he's out there on guts and guile right now, and he's not at 100%. And with us getting into this last 7 game straights to get to the tournament,
He's gonna have to figure it out now, bro. Like
he's gonna have to figure it out, man. And I saw a couple stretches where he wasn't Tyler Smith, and then I think that was the ugliest thing I've seen in the offensive line. Everybody else, man, was getting down, man. Everybody was bugging. Tyler Booker is the absolute real deal. Tyler Beebe, Cooper Beebe is a load, man. He's just gonna be so much better next year. It's crazy that he's in year 2 and he is showing, moves to move into that all pro range. I think he's already Pro Bowl level. But I think that's what I'm looking at. But I guess my ugly was Tyler Smith, having to play the way he had to play last time.
So I got one more ugly.
Give it to me.
Because somebody asked the question up top. What you do with Trey? Who come off the field?
Who comes off the field?
Who come off the field? Yeah, Trayvon Diggs. What you do with Trey?
He's gonna come back. I think that Siobhan Rebel kind of had like his easy mode game to come back to. And sure, he could be the guy that can come in and take somebody's job. Let's word it politely that way. But I think that Kayla Carson is still there, and he has film of not necessarily being the most reliable, but he had this great game. I don't think that one game is going to make him take Trevon Diggs' job when he's healthy enough to come back. I'm still trying to find out what's going on with him, by the way.
That's where it's ugly, because does that relationship mend? Like, is it mended or is he going to buy into it?
No, absolutely not.
Exactly. That's an ugly spot until they address it and they fix it. Until they do,
I don't think it can be fixed. I don't think it gets fixed. So
I don't either. I definitely think that he's gone after this year, but I do think that he continues to play this year.
Yeah, I think you don't want nobody that's not buying in now with what you're building. You might as well send him out the rest of the year.
I think we'll cross that bridge when we get there. We'll cross that bridge when we get there. Until then, I think that he's better than Carson.
It's here though. That's what I'm saying. It's here because he's practiced all week. Yeah, I'm saying he's back. I'm about to say he was never hurt, bro. I mean, he was never
sir.
He was never really hurt,
sir. We do not divulge things that happen off the grid in the boom boom room, because what happens in the boom boom room stays in the boom boom room. Okay, all right, man. You know what I'm saying? You about to get us thrown out of privileged areas, man.
I didn't say.
No, you was about to. Hey, man, look,
I wasn't.
Hey, he was hurt. Dadgummit. Black hat. Understand that he's hurt. But going back to it,
I'm saying he might have had a lump under his black hat or something.
Hey, listen. all I'm saying is we treat everybody else, Kalen Clarkson, Elam, Sharon Ravel, and anybody else with the famous Jeff Heath treatment. Okay?
Right.
Hey, man, everybody gets the Heath treatment, brother. 25 snaps of greatness, and then get your head to the sideline.
Hey, I'm cool with that.
Yeah, because we deal.
Why we gotta bring him up? This is a family
because he's the
GOAT.
He the GOAT.
He got you thinking that nonsense too.
Man.
He got you
No, I'm saying, hey, bro, that 25, them 25 snaps, bro. Once you get to 26, that's when you in trouble. That's when you start seeing Calvin Johnson catching the ball.
Right. Come on, man.
over everybody.
Yeah, see what I'm saying? So you keep them guys in a rotation. You get Butler coming back as well. Somebody said in the chat, Butler's going to be back. Dude, you keep it into a rotation. You going against 2 certified gangsters this week. When they do get an opportunity, when the running back, quarterback finds time to throw the football, he finds those guys, man. And so I want to keep those guys fresh. Let them buy in when they're supposed to buy in. The moment they start trying to do their own thing, get them sat down over in the corner somewhere till they understand, get their mind right, and then come back. Because I need 7 in the immortal words of the great coach, right? Herman Boone. Perfection, gentlemen. You know what I'm saying? That's what I need. That's what I need, man. Because for me to get in the tournament, I got to be perfect, man.
Yeah. I think that's the only way that you can kind of make it there is if you went out. Unlikely as it may, I think that if your defense gives you comparable performances, if your defense is competent each week, you can compete with anybody, man.
Dude, if you can hold people to 24 points, you got a higher chance to win a lot of these games. Because I don't see a lot of defenses are going to shut this team out like that. You go against a very good football team on Sunday, we're going to break them down in detail. And like you going through your murder row these next 3 or 4 games. But you've given yourself no wiggle room over the next 7.
Yeah, I agree. And it does not start off easy. You going from a divisional matchup to playing Kansas City. Then you got Detroit. Detroit might be the hardest one out of all of them. Quiet as kept. You got a murderer's row, just like you said. But I think your offense can keep up with any one of them. Your offense can.
I think you're all well, and like I said, we'll talk about that later. It's gonna be something we talk offline. I'm not worried. I'm not worried about that. As long as Shotty can stay on track, he doesn't get away from running the football. If he doesn't get away from running the football, he's gonna be able to do that. And then your offense can click and do certain things. But I can't be afraid of somebody just put on Twitter about this what I'm talking about the GOAT. Hey man, I'm always gonna give respect to the GOAT, man. I'm always gonna give respect to the GOAT, man. But that's just what I'm saying, the different things you got to be looking at when you deal with that. But they're gonna get every week to prove it. Here was one that we asked backstage, and we're gonna let everybody in the chat go around. Hey man, look at him. Woo! The GOAT, that's my guy. Yes! But going back to this, we asked this in the backstage. We want to ask everybody else about this. Has Eberflus gotten the opportunity for you to give him a pass on anything? I'm gonna let John go first. Let John go first.
You know what?
Get this.
Hey, look.
Hell no. No. Because the reason I say that is, like, just because you got really good players don't mean that you're good at your job.
Absolutely.
Don't mean that you're good at your job. I think the best coaches, or if you're doing a really good job, it's how you have guys prepared when you don't have as much of the talent. Because guess what? Knock on wood, what happens when somebody goes down or somebody goes down? Like somebody talked about it. This team wasn't healthy, or this team wasn't healthy, and blah, blah, blah. I watched Zimmer do better with less. Yeah. I watched Zimmer do better with less, bro. So I'm just saying, the coaching job, the managing of the people, you know what I'm saying? Because I can't remember which one of my cover 3 people said it. I think it might have been Tuck, where it's like everybody loves Shotty, but don't nobody say nothing about Eberflus. He's somebody that this team probably could do without. Just keeping it a buck. You probably have a better defensive coordinator that can come in here with the talent that you have now accumulated and make it a juggernaut. Yeah,
I mean, going back there, he doesn't get any passes with me. He's given up too many games where it was just people were looking like they didn't know what they were doing for me to give him a pass of being like, oh yeah, I forgive him. Nah, man, you done burnt me. You know, first time, you know, you did it to me. You know, I'm kind of scorned. You know, I'm tired of having to eat the cake anime. You know, I'm tired of getting dragged down the hallway, put in the room, and folk tell me to go, you know, go outside and do something. Man, he has been god awful. When you start flicking your pen like that, B, it's killing you. So, what are you thinking about, B?
So I think that the way that they're kind of formulating this defense is to cater to Matt Eberflus's coaching style, right? Because he wants to win with 4. So now they have an elite defensive tackle who they could just put in A gap and let him, you know, wreck the club. There were times where they even just put 3 defensive tackles on the field. Quinnen, Osa, and Kenny. Just had 3 of them, and then
it was so beautiful, dog. I'm not gonna lie.
Work of art, right? Work of art. But like Chris and I mentioned in our mid-season review videos was out. I'm not so sure that they get rid of Flus, because Jerry talked about the importance of continuity. That's a TI word of the day. And now they're also building this roster to Flus's strengths. As much as you say, you know, they can get Flus up out of here and another coach could do his job, I don't think that they believe that. I think that they believe that they want to stick with him, and that they're going to continue to build the team within his vision, and that box that he visualizes. So yeah, man. As much as sure he hasn't been great in the first half of the season, I think that they're gonna try to give him what he needs to succeed, which is great.
It's like I agree with that. I agree with that. But in the same breath, who's running through a wall for him? You know what I'm saying? Who's running through a wall for him? And it's only dependent. It's only as good as how healthy you are. And what I'll say with that is, not every coach. Some coaches can roll with the punches and still get things. Like, think about this, right? How many times do the damn Chiefs get hurt? And Steve Spagnuolo got to find ways to dial up different blitzes and all that type of stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like,
or your top. Oh my God, we got the goat up in here.
Hey,
oh my God,
we got the sensei in the chat. By somebody, you know, must
salute to my dog. The Doski Woski.
Hey, look, the guy, my homie.
Must salute to the sensei.
Senior whooping feet.
Yeah, man. Hey, man. Yeah, man. You know, but going back to all of that, though, the thing about it is that you're still looking for when you don't have your full complement, what can you do? Going back to what you said about Spagnuolo, he didn't have McDuffie for damn near half of the season last year. And he still was able to turn around and start doing certain things to keep that thing covered up until McDuffie got back. Now, it was a little bit too late, but that dude still got him to the final game of the season. So it's a great comparison, because the Chiefs every year they got to figure it out, bro. Do you just watch the Cowboys or like? No, they don't have better players. Like, the Chiefs are always trying to figure stuff out. Yeah. They got maybe one or two
years
marquee. Yeah, they got one or two marquee guys, but better players all around. Hell no, no way.
So think about it like this. Last year, the Chiefs won all but one of their games, which were one-score games. They didn't have a choice but to figure it out last year. This year, they're 0-5 in one-score games. So they're once again having to just figure it out and make adjustments as the year goes. As the year goes on. So yeah, I think that it's a great comparison for the Chiefs, because they don't have the personnel, but Steve Spagnuolo makes things work with the assets that they have. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, so go ahead, John.
No, I wasn't. I don't want. This is my last time cutting up, but I'm just gonna say they never. It doesn't matter. You never see quitting those guys. This team was ready to mail it in with Eberflus. They was ready to mail it in. And here's the thing. Yeah. I can't even say. Look, I said that they played inspired football for their brother because their brother died. You know what I'm saying? But you can't even guarantee that bringing in Quinnen Williams and Logan Wilson that they still wouldn't have mailed it in. They were playing inspired football for their brother.
Wow.
Because before then, them dudes was ready to quit, bro. They were mailing it in. No matter how you look at it, I don't care if the players are good or what. They were quitting.
Yeah.
They were quitting on him.
They were not believing in what this guy was putting down, bro.
Right.
Yeah. The way they looked against Denver was crazy, and definitely last Monday night against Arizona. You're right. They did look. So the goal now is to find out next week. Come Sunday. You're gonna find out what they were all made of, because you can only ride that wave for so long. Now it's got to be to the point. Are they gonna believe in what he's saying? But I think what we were talking about. We were worried about who we were gonna sit down for Trey. I think you got enough folks, man. I think you got enough folks around there to kind of spread it out. But this week coming up, I need Trey to give me. I need to give 7 to give me a 7 type of game. I need that from him this week. Absolutely. I need that from him. I need him. Hey, I don't care all the other stuff, fussing and fighting about everything else, where I'm gonna play at next year. I need 7 to give me a 7 type performance for this last half of the season. Because no matter what, he gonna get paid somewhere else. But I just need to give me his top effort for this last 7, 8, 9 games.
And I do generally think that he does that against the Eagles. He's had multiple great games against them. Two in Dak's MVP season in 2023, one earlier this year. So yes, if Trevon Diggs can get on the field, then I got faith in him. I do. But I also want to see more from the other guys on the team. Kenneth Murray stepped up this week. I want to see that consistently from him. DeMarvion Overshown. Go right ahead, Chris.
So, and John, me and you, we know this about B, but we're going to put it out there again. Mm-hmm. If you get hurt around B, if you have any injury in your life, man, that deals around
you better not cough wrong.
When you have one of these injuries, man, that are like nagging, B don't never let you get over it. I can't believe that. Damone Clark got his walking papers today, and B trying to act like
the inhumanity. Wait.
Oh, you threw the pen? Oh, shucks. Yeah. And this was the guy B been trying to get rid of for the last 2 years, but I think
I've been right about him since we drafted him. For what it's worth, I've been right about him since we drafted him.
Yeah, bro. It was that time, bro.
It was time. Go ahead.
Is a receiver on this team like that too.
Woo! I mean, yeah, we know that too.
I've been trying. Hey, look, I was trying to rip the one up off his back.
Man, you've been trying to get that one off that man's back since he put it on. Man, that man been upset about that dude wearing the number 1 since he got it. Like, who are you to wear one? But that's neither here nor there. But
a dog has to wear single digits. Not just one, any single digit. A dog.
What you mean? He the best gunner in the league.
So Cap City, New Jersey. Yes, Damone Clark got his rolling papers this week. He showed up to the facility.
Whoa, sir! This is a family show. He ain't getting no rolling paper. He got his walking papers.
Hey, look,
this is a family show, sir.
Hey, man.
He gonna need that type of paper. He gonna need it today.
He gonna need him a cognac and a banana, and maybe something like that. But
whole time though, watch this. I bet you he end up with the Chiefs. They always take the Cowboys scraps and they go to the Super Bowl.
They do. Yeah.
So look, my man, look, sports guru in here talking trash about Spagnuolo. How many of the Cowboy scraps them dudes that came and got?
Peyton Hendershot over there. The cornerback. But he turned out to be good.
Shavarius Ward.
Who was the defensive lineman we missed on, and he went over there and won a title? I forget his name. It was the
It'll come later.
I can't think of his name.
All I'm saying is that the Chiefs find him and Spagnuolo figures out how to use him and piece him around him. And that's what you want Eberflus to be able to do, because you want to be able to hope those guys turn around and be able to make things go forward. That's what you're hoping. You're hoping that
Yeah.
Eberflus can start pitching close to average games, so you have the opportunity to get wins. That's what you're hoping for.
Yeah, for sure. And not to pat myself on the back or anything.
Nah, we don't want you to break your hand or nothing.
Yeah, man. I'm a very humble guy.
That's my good hand. That's my strong hand.
That's my strong hand.
Like I said, man, I was right about the most part since we drafted him, dog. Outside of the neck injury, which a neck is a neck is a neck. You know what I'm saying? JJ Watt said that once a neck, it's always a neck. He was, in my opinion, a very reactionary player. You can always see the wheels turning. I remember this from my draft eval. I wasn't a fan of his lack of instincts, man. And that's something that 4 years in, he could not get rid of. He could not develop those instincts. And man, Chris, I thought that he was gonna take that next step, Chris. In the
you thought he had turned the corner,
man.
You thought he had turned the corner.
I was wrong, dude.
Yeah.
So I mean, shout out to Damone. He lasted longer than the average NFL player, but man, it's the league. It's a fast league. You cannot let it pass you by.
Without question. Well, I mean, that's 3 strikes in a row for LSU players with us. So, it is what it is. As much grief and hell we give Michigan players, we sure as heck done missed on all the LSU guys we've had. But it is what it is, man. Yo, man, are we an hour in?
We an hour in already, man. You know, when we got DMV in the building, man, that hour feel like 10 minutes.
Yeah,
you
man,
know what I'm
saying?
saying?
Yeah, dude.
It's always good hanging with family. It's always good.
Absolutely. With this win, because I want to get us out of here because Chris, you got a hard stop in about 15 or 20. With this win, what is the one thing that you saw that you want to try to carry over as we step into this challenging gauntlet? DMV, you mind going first?
I'm sorry. Repeat the question again. My bad. I was trying to look up who that defensive lineman was.
I get it. I was saying, what is one thing from this win that you want to carry over into these very challenging games coming up?
I think that they just have to take it a week at a time. Like I said, I learned this from a coach that I coached under once before. Just go 1-0 each week. So I think what they have to carry over is just, don't look down the schedule. You just got to look at your opponent and focus on who that is. And I think that the Raiders were that. And although it was pretty heavy the last couple of weeks or whatnot with Nealon passing away and stuff like that, I think what you could take away from that is when they had to dial in and focus on their opponent, they weren't worried about all of the outside things. They were just worried about what was in front of them. So I would say take away to just focus on what's right in front of you and not what's down the line.
I get it.
Yep.
It'll especially in these next few games, it'll allow you to not get overwhelmed by your upcoming Anthony Hitchens.
He was one of them, but I think Taco Charlton was the other one. I think Taco was with them for a little bit. I think.
Did they win?
I don't know if he won a bowl, but Taco definitely was there.
Yeah, I remember Anthony Hitchens though. I do remember Anthony Hitchens. Yeah.
Hitchens too.
Huh?
Yeah.
Hitchens won a bowl.
Yep.
Mo Claiborne there too? I think he was.
I can't remember who picked up Mo. Chris, if you had to carry something into the next game, what would it be? One thing.
I just want to keep getting pressure. I want to be able to make people uncomfortable in the pocket. I watch far too many quarterbacks look comfortable in the pocket. I watch Bo Nix look comfortable in the pocket. I watch Sierra Husband, look comfortable in the pocket, man. For Jacoby Brissett, who you knew was could get rattled, he didn't even look flustered. I need pressure on you.
They was laughing.
Yeah, man. I mean, now you went against the absolute one of the worst offensive lines in all of football. So I just need you to continue to be able to do stunts, do different games, and guys to, as Vach put out so many years ago, I don't need anybody remember this. I need speed, power, and whoop ass. as much as possible out of my front four, or when I bring five, whichever way I do it, man. That's what I need. If I can get that, I got an opportunity to win ball games. That's what I need. Consistency, consistent pressure.
You actually, I was gonna say that exact same thing. I want pressure from my front four. I think that your defensive tackles are definitely the strongest unit on your defense. Ooh, excuse me.
God bless you.
Thank you, sir. I think that your D tackles are definitely your strongest unit on your defense. And that helps everyone out around them. If you got guys in the middle that are taking up double teams, you help your edges, you help your linebackers, you help your corners and safeties.
Is a Rock who had another good strong game this week. It just makes everybody's job a little bit easier. 1 of 11 doing what they're supposed to do. Just continue to get pressure, man. That's what I need to carry on for the next couple of weeks. Like I said, you playing against a running back that's playing against Y.E. Tittle or what's Bronco Nagurski as the quarterback this week.
I don't even know those names.
You're playing against the Bobby Fletchers of the daggum NFL, man. Just guys back there that just the guy want to run around and maybe heave one up. Man, come on, just give me pressure with 4 so I can get back and do my job.
Yeah, and I do think we'll talk about this more as the week goes on. I think that
Vince Evans, just naming guys who couldn't throw forth a damn, but they were playing quarterback, man. Reminds me of that dude, man. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I think that having that strength in the middle is something that can definitely help you, especially against Philly, because you can make Hurts look down. If you get in his face, you can make him look down. We
get his eyes down.
This.
Yeah.
And
his eyes drop.
That'll make him panic a little bit. Make him panic a little bit.
Absolutely.
Guys, anything else before we get up out of here?
Okay, so I found a couple of them players because I was looking. Hey, look, Damian Wilson was one.
Okay.
Mo Claiborne was one.
Yep. Anthony Hitchens.
So we already talked about Anthony Hitchens, and Taco Charlton was one. So yeah, I knew I wasn't tripping to what I was talking about. I knew Spags would take a ex-Cowboy in a minute, bro.
Listen, I mean, they draft NFL players, man. Yep. It's just when they get them here, they don't have a plan for them.
Mm-hmm.
They don't have a plan for them. And but Anthony, I think Anthony played to the best of his ability. And I think he got a contract that they just wasn't gonna match. That's why Hitch left.
He was solid. I'm just talking about that they went over. I'm just talking about Spags took them guys. Yeah. That's all I was just saying.
Yeah. Spags gonna take them. Spags gonna find them players.
He's a lock to recycle some Cowboys, man.
Yeah.
He is. And it seems like Dan Quinn is now following that path as well.
Oh, but they ain't working for Dan.
Dan in trouble over there.
George Witt, yeah. Woo wee. It'd have been bad if he'd have stayed in Dallas. I'll tell you that.
For sure.
That's it.
DMV. Always great to have you, bro.
No
like
doubt.
I said at the beginning of the show, you were one of the first creators to welcome us with open arms. I think you were the second guy that we featured. That was featured on our show, or we went to their channel. I wasn't really like a creator when I was on Vacha's show all the time, so it's like he don't count. And plus, like I call it, he the sensei. I come from the Vacha Lombardi content creator tree. But dude, you are always welcome on the show. We would always love to be on your show. Tell the people what you do and where they can find you.
Oh yeah, bro. DMV Fanatic. I talk football, man. That's it. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I always like to come to Frankly Football because, like, you know how comedians that you know how they go to like the comedy store and all that type of stuff, and they go, they work out their material and all that type of stuff. When I need to get myself back on track, man, I know that I'm gonna get sharp football conversations from you guys, and I think that I think Vach said it good. This is a great discussion, and I hope that wherever you are, you share it and you let everybody know that Frankly Football is back, and they putting together some good shows, some good work.
Appreciate that, brother. That means more than you could ever think.
That's what's up.
Chris, get us on up out of here, bro.
Hey man, listen, we've been away for a minute because Brandon was out in the ocean drinking his flowery, fruity drinks and getting himself revived.
Yeah, you do like you got a tan, brother.
Yeah.
Hey,
Hey, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, look,
Yeah,
man, I was in
yeah.
a remote location for a week. You know what I'm saying?
So he's doing this thing, man. But listen, man, we are just trying to continually get better at what we do, man. Please do not forget to. He said the QR code's up there, but make sure that you like, you share, you subscribe. Make sure you follow my man DMV Fanatic and kick it. Look at the stuff he puts out. He puts out amazing content on a regular basis, man. Stuff that I'd be like, ooh, I didn't know that. Hey, I want to try to do that. But he always got to get that going. But man, we are the dynamic duo to get this on, man. I'm the dude on the side of the road with the sign saying, hey, I need a couple of dollars, but I got a Ferrari parked in the back. And I'm always going to kick it with my man, Brandon, man. And we together will always be Frankly Football, man. So until next time, peace.